Hey cruisers, welcome on board Regal Princess. This is a 12-night voyage where we are bringing this awesome ship from Fort Lauderdale over to our friends in Galveston, Texas. So if you are going to be on one of the cruises out of Galveston and you have any questions for us, we're hopefully going to be answering some of them in this video and sharing our first impressions of the ship. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Sherry with CruiseTipsTV.com. We are so happy to have you here, and we invite you to give us a quick subscribe here on our channel. And of course, check out our coverage of this cruise live over on Instagram.com/CruiseTipsTV, where we have saved a Regal Princess highlight just for you with like mini vlogs on it. So there's all kinds of port, ship, buffet food, all kinds of stuff saved there for you, so you can go scope it out. If you like vlog type content, you're going to love those little Instagram highlights. So we're going to be talking about our first impressions of the ship, answering questions. If you want a more chatty version of this video, listen to our podcast anywhere you listen, Cruise Tips TV Unplugged, and we're going to be spending probably at least a half an hour, so a little bit more time, going in depth on the ship. So let's talk about everything that has happened thus far. We embarked over in Fort Lauderdale. How was our boarding experience? Well, our boarding experience was a little bit slow. This was something that was very unusual for this ship, but because it was repositioning from Southampton over to Florida, there were a number of inspections that hit the ship all at once, so it took us about 2 hours to get on board, but I do not anticipate that being an issue or even a consideration for anyone cruising out of Galveston. It was just a one-off. So if you've heard anything about the boarding, yeah, it happened. It was rough, but you guys, it's probably going to be fine once they get into that groove in Galveston, right? So we're not even going to spend any time really talking about that. Let's talk about the ship though. Regal Princess is about 10 years old. The ship holds about, 3,600 passengers, and I think it's about 140,000 gross tons. It is a bigger ship for Princess. So if you are a bigger ship person and you like that big ship experience on Princess, you're probably going to love it. The ship is in awesome condition. Everything is holding up beautifully. Everything is functioning. The only thing that I've noticed that isn't functioning this week, or that's kind of closed, is down in the spa. The Enclave is closed for some maintenance, at least for the beginning part of the cruise, but hopefully they will have all of that resolved by the time we get to Texas so that they can welcome those spa guests back. But everybody who was on this cruise, they got a refund for their Enclave passes, but kind of a bummer, but the rest of the spa is definitely still open. So we are in, if you're wondering about this, this cabin, this is a mini suite. We're on the marina deck, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about this stateroom choice in the podcast. I actually think that we've learned that this deck on the marina deck probably isn't for us, and we'll tell you why we think it was a mistake in the podcast. I'm not going to go into too much depth, but suffice it to say we're right under the pool deck, and that's mainly what you need to know. So if you're sensitive to the sound of like pool chairs moving and stuff like that, maybe go down a deck or so and get away from the pool deck, because there's some chair dragging sound, stuff like that. No big deal. And the proximity to the buffet is wonderful, and we always love mini suites. So we're really glad that overall that we booked the cabin. We love the fully shaded balcony. We like the extra space. You can see there's like a curtain over here on this side for a little more privacy because my son is with us. And there's a bathtub. There's 2 televisions. Mini suites are normal cabins though on Princess. You don't get suite perks. You are sailing in just a normal cabin category, if that makes sense. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the passenger mix and the vibe on board. Now, with any longer sailing, especially on Princess, this is a 12-night sailing, your passenger mix is going to lean a little bit more towards an older demographic. I would say the majority of passengers on this particular cruise are over the age of 50, but there is a sprinkling of honeymooners, younger cruisers. There's a sprinkling of kids as well. We're going to talk about the youth experience a little bit later in the Q&A section of this episode, but I would say the vibe is very lively. People who really enjoy being outdoors by the pool, people who enjoy talking to one another, very social cruise, a lot of people interacting, making new friends, dining together. Something that we've noticed is it's been a really fun and lively crowd. I've also noticed, if you're wondering kind of about dress code on this ship, I've noticed that it is just comfortable for anyone, regardless of how you want to dress on a cruise. If you're an ultra traditional formal cruiser, you're going to be happy on Regal Princess. You're going to see that a lot of people really dress up for formal nights and most nights for dinner. You're not going to see a lot of shorts or jeans in the dining room, not a lot. But I will also say that if you're the type of cruiser who ditches formal night entirely, you're like, nope, I'm doing shorts and going to the buffet, you will be completely comfortable on Regal Princess. I would say especially when the ship gets to Texas and starts running those, you know, the shorter voyages, like the week-long voyages, I think you can be totally dressed up and traditional on this cruise ship, or you can go the other way with it and go with t-shirts and jean shorts the entire week and be comfortable. I kind of like that. I kind of like that it's both. It's been a neat experience. So friendly passengers, definitely a good variety, a very lively crowd, folks who enjoy music, enjoy socializing. There's been people dancing on the dance floors. It's been a really good vibe. Let's talk a little bit about the food and the coffee and the bars on this ship. So food has been really good. I would say very much above average for a cruise. One of our favorite places to eat on Regal Princess has been the buffet, which on the ship they call it the Horizon Court and the Horizon Bistro. The Horizon Court and Horizon Bistro are sort of just all run together, but the Bistro seems to be like one section with kind of a different decor, and then the Horizon Court has just slightly different look to it. But we have found that the buffet on this ship is just exceptional in a number of ways. The food variety has been awesome. The fact that it's huge, the buffet is huge, it just really distributes crowds well, and I just don't think you're going to find that you're waiting around very long up there. Also, the hours that they have open for the buffet are so generous. There's no like closures between breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So anytime you go up there during meal hours, there's something available for you. Now they might alternate, like one side is open and the other side, or this section, but I have found that there's so much more food variety on this ship than on my last few cruises, and it's been nice. In fact, we spent way more time in the buffet on this cruise than we have on a lot of other cruises. And I have a tip for you if you're a coffee drinker. Now, normally when you get coffee on Princess, where do you go? You go to the International Cafe down on deck 5, right? Well, you can do that. That's great. The International Cafe has espresso drinks and to-go coffees and stuff, but I have 2 more venues for you, depending on where your stateroom is located, that you might want to go to grab your morning coffee. I've been going to the buffet, which is on deck 16. I'm on deck 15, so just going up one level. Right in the middle of the buffet, kind of where all the pastries are and things, in that little alcove, there is an espresso bar there, and they have great coffees. The only thing that's kind of a disadvantage there is they don't have to-go coffee cups. So you're going to be taking your coffee in like a ceramic mug, right? So just know that you might need to just carry 1 cup, because the cups can get kind of hot in your hand. So if you want to-go coffee in to-go cup, you can go down to Princess Live on 7. The Princess Live bar has an espresso set up there, and also the International Cafe. So there are 3 places to get your morning coffee on this ship, which is super cool. There's another thing I forgot to mention about the staterooms that I think is really important, so I want to back up to that. And you guys, that is that there are no USB ports in these cabins at all. There's 2 standard AC plugs, but bring yourself some kind of, you know, a non-surge power strip. We brought this one. We had no trouble getting it on. And then we also brought one of these little USB guys, and these have been super helpful and quite necessary, to be honest, because there's no USB here at the vanity. There's no USB bedside in our mini suite. So I'm assuming it's the same in the balconies. I'm going to link to both of these in the description, because you are going to need them on this type of a ship, I think. I'm not sure what that's all about, but we were a little surprised, because lately, even on older Princess ships, I've noticed that they've been putting like USB by the bed, but there's really none. So just a consideration. How's the main dining room, you might be wondering? Main dining room has been fantastic, really good service, delicious, delicious food, ample tables, ample places to sit, really good communication about reservations. You can make your reservation in the app. You can also call about dining inquiries right on your phone and talk to somebody. And if you like a traditional dining experience, just tell them I want the same table, same place, same place every night. And they'll be glad to accommodate that. Now, one of the things about the dining situation here, the main dining rooms, is that we've been in Allegro, so I think it's the same in all of the different dining rooms, but they have a lot of banquet style seating. And if you've seen our ship tours before, heard us talk about cruise dining rooms, we sometimes talk about the fact that they have those bench seatings, meaning banquettes, where what that does is it puts people's tables kind of close together because there's not a lot of rounds that sort of stand on their own. So if you are averse to those types of tables, and you don't want to be sitting right next to someone, you may need to get creative and kind of ask to be seated a little bit more privately, because most of the seats are banquet. A lot of people, I think, enjoy it because, again, cruising is a very social experience, but you may end up being kind of close to your neighbors in those dining rooms. But the nice thing about the arrangement and the layout is that there's a lot of window view seating in those dining rooms too, just because of the way that they're designed. So they're beautiful, the service is great, and the food has been excellent. How about the bars? Bar service has been great. There's so many different bars available on this ship. Some of my favorite bars have been so far, of course, the Good Spirits bar, where they make wonderful craft cocktails. That's been a good one. I also just like the standard pool bar. That's been great and very uncrowded. And then I really like the Sea Walk. I think it's called the Sea Walk bar. Is that what it's called? Sea View bar. Now the Sea View bar closes at 6 p.m. though. Probably because it gets kind of windy out on the pool deck, but I really like that one. And if you go to that one and you like spicy drinks, there's a mezcal-based drink there called the Paloma Caliente that is absolutely fantastic. So we're going to go into detail on our ports on the podcast because I wanted to keep this kind of a shorter video, but that's kind of the general first impressions. Just so you guys know too, service all over the ship has been excellent, from the room steward to the dining staff to the concierge staff. Everyone's been really good. So no service issues whatsoever. And again, bar service has been great. On the first day, the bar service was a little bit slower because there were crew members who were still going through the drills, and they had to get everybody back out onto their stations. So it was a little slow, but since then there's no wait for drinks virtually. It's been fantastic. Now I want to do a quick Q&A. We're going to go into way more Q&A on the podcast. This is just a couple of quick questions that you all have asked. Is the ship crowded? I would say it's no more crowded than a standard Princess cruise on this class of ship. It's pretty full for sure, and you are definitely going to feel like we're back to normal with cruising. So not too crazy crowded, not a lot of waiting or anything like that, but you'll feel like it's busy and that there's quite a few people. Now, have there been any issues with getting a pool chair? Was another question that came in. I have seen some chair reserving where people like put their towel out and they put a clip on it and then they walk away in the morning. I went up there this morning and checked it out. It was a bright sunny day. So you see some of that, but if you just step up one deck above the pool deck, it's usually completely empty, especially in the morning, and you can easily get a seat there. How are the youth programs? Okay, the youth staff on this ship is amazing. They're wonderful. There's very few youngsters on this particular voyage. I think there's maybe 10 teenagers, and then in the younger group, I took a little video of the age counts. I'm going to put it up on the screen right now so you guys can see how many in each age group. Just not a lot of kids, but again, once the ship gets to Galveston, I'm sure it's going to be really busy with families. But please know, you guys, that the facility, the kids facility, youth facilities here are beautiful. The kids have this gorgeous, they have like windows that look out to the ocean. Even in the tiny little toddler area, they have an outdoor play area for the little kids. Really cool. The teens have their own outdoor deck. Like, it is awesome. They have skee ball in there, they have foosball, and they just have a wonderful staff, and they're also gearing up for some really fun stuff to do. I also got a question about, is there sweet tea on board? I love that. Such a good question. Yes, there is sweet tea. In fact, I found that in the buffet, sweet tea is the default. So if you don't want sweet tea, you have to ask for unsweet tea. So for my Texans, for my Southerners, yes, you're going to get your sweet tea. How is the entertainment on board? There's so much entertainment, from stage shows to special acts. There's Halloween festivities coming up during the day. There's always something going on, whether it's poolside, live music or entertainment, or some kind of an origami class, or multiple different line dancing and dance programs throughout the day. There's Zumba in the morning at 9 that is always jam-packed. There is so much to do on this ship, you guys. We couldn't even begin to do all of the things that are on the agenda. And all you have to do is take a look at the newsletters. I mean, look at these newsletters. Once we get home and we have some time, we'll get these scanned in. But look at all this. I mean, there's so much to do. It's really a lot of fun. So hopefully that answers some of your questions, gives you an idea for first impressions. We have so many more videos coming, but go listen to the podcast. I think it's going to go up on Wednesday, the 1st of November, for those of you who want more information. Enjoy your cruise on Regal Princess. Give us a quick subscribe before you go. And until next time, we'll see you on the high seas. Bye-bye.